Recording in progress.
Good evening. We call the Johnnie Walker Beach Subcommittee meeting to order. It is 5 o'clock, and we are at City Chambers. And announcements. Have quite a few. So just to backtrack, the volunteer luncheon was well attended for the city of Lewes, and Ms. D and myself attended that, along with many others. And a couple things that I attended was the Baller Classic, and had a display out for the history of Lewes and some pictures that we usually put out for our history table. And the Delaware 250 kickoff happened at Savannah Beach. What weekend was that?
That was held on April 19th.
Okay. And that was well attended, and it was almost, what, 90 degrees?
It was.
80
It's very
degrees.
warm.
We want to congratulate Mr. Bill Colick and Ms. Patty Mall for winning the Cape and Lopin School District
Thank you.
School Board.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Cool.
Do you have anything to say?
No, I just want to thank everybody for their support. I really do. And I am going to say that I had a wonderful letter from Mr. Carl Saliba. I always say Carl, and you say right, but I did, and I thought it was quite special. And I look at I think a lot of people spoke, and I thought his letter was really instrumental. So
Wonderful.
I'm thanking him. I really am.
Southern Delaware Alliance for Racial Justice will be having a lunch and learn on the expansion of voting rights in Delaware. The SAVE Act Unpacked on May 16th, 12 to 1 o'clock, and you have to go online to register for that. The next town hall will be May 21st from 6 to 7:30. You can go on their website also to register for that. And celebrating African Americans in Rehoboth from 1690 to 1960 is May 24th, and there's exhibits and excursions available for that. I saw that online. And the other couple announcements, that on Wednesday, May 21st, the mayoral swearing-in ceremony of Amy Marasco will be taking place at 12 noon, and you can, I'm assuming, attend in person or click on the website to view online on the Zoom. I talked about that. A couple other things that are happening right around the corner. We know Juneteenth will be taking place, and there are some announcements for the various Juneteenths. There's a Juneteenth celebration on June 18th in Bridgeville, and there is a donation of $25 for that. I have the flyer if anybody is interested in that. June 19th, West Rehoboth is having their Juneteenth celebration, and they welcome everyone to that as well. Anyone can attend. June 21st, Georgetown will be starting off their Juneteenth celebration with a parade at 10 a.m. and the celebration would be immediately after that. The vendor cost is $50 for anyone who'd like to vend for that. And of course, the city of Lewes is having their Juneteenth celebration on June 28th, the week after the Georgetown one. We always did that so we don't conflict with each other, and so that we can attend the two local ones as well. And ours is from June 28th from 1 to 6 p.m. at George P. Smith Park. And Wilmington will be having their Juneteenth celebration. They celebrate all month. So there's some dates if anybody is interested in considering going or attending any of those celebrations. I do have the flyers here. And if there's any other announcements, I think the city is going to be closed sometime soon.
The city will be closed for Monday, for Memorial Day, the 26th, and then we'll be closed June 19th for the June 19th holiday. So,
Anything else? All right, moving on. Let's see. We have the presentation and possible action and approval of minutes. Hopefully you all have received those and reviewed them. Is there any questions, or can we get a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
All in favor?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, second, yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried. And volunteer research and oral histories update and possible action. And I meant to mention earlier that Ms. Kay was excused today. She's under the weather, but recuperating. Just to put that on record. And volunteer research and oral histories for Johnnie Walker Beach Subcommittee. I don't have anything at this point in time, if anybody else has anything. Okay. And Johnnie Walker Beach, Savannah Beach update and possible actions. We did have the photo consent form review that we had under consideration, and that was included in your packet. And I believe it has, if I'm not mistaken, it's already been viewed by the city solicitor.
I believe it has, but I'd have to verify that.
It's in your packet, and if there's, if you had anything that you needed to add or change or what have you, we can do that. But I believe Ms. Kay did send it off to the city solicitor. And so that would be what we would use in order to work with getting pictures or what have you, possibly for the display. On anything to add to that, we can move on to new business. Discussion of the Delaware 250 Grant Award and other DE 250 updates and possible action. One of the things that we need to discuss now that we have been awarded the grant for $5,000 is the, yes, is that there is a timeline for the grant award. And Ms. Cynthia, what was the timeline?
So, it says here, all the funds must be spent within 12 months of receiving the funds, and a final report submitted within 3 months of the program's conclusion or the funds being spent.
Okay.
So that's the timeline.
So that could be up to 15 months, if I'm reading that, hearing that correctly.
Well, because then we have 3 months to do the program.
Okay.
Conclusion.
Okay. So I know Mr. Daisy is in the audience. Mr. Daisy, do you have anything to add about that or wanted to discuss? We do have a couple things about having to talk to DNREC and Lewes Parks and Recreation about placement of the sign.
Yeah.
So that conversation still needs to be had, I'm assuming. Come on up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Didn't promise.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, Daryl Daisy. I don't even know what address to give you. 331 Chestnut Street, okay, in Lewes, Delaware. Yeah, I just, I was, obviously everyone was happy we got the grant to move forward. Now the next steps were, in my mind, and I am novice, so if someone knows better, please tell me, is we had not really engaged DNREC very much yet. So, and I don't have any contacts, don't know who at DNREC. I know some people were engaging them, so I'm assuming we have some contacts, but I don't know who they are.
Julia, I believe, would probably be the
Okay,
person
all
that
right.
you or the team would
Yeah. I mean, I don't-
coordinate with.
I wouldn't anticipate any problems because they already have signage out there today, so this shouldn't be a big deal, but I know we have to engage them. The other big things we have is I sent the group a draft, and I use the word draft because that's what it is, because I want input and whatever of some of the narrative that would go into the Johnnie Walker interpretive sign. I'm taking the feedback from the group. We certainly want to focus some on Johnnie Walker, but we also want to focus on the fact that that beach was a communal thing that went on. So I tried to do a balance, but again, I'm looking for feedback from the team to give us that. It's because we have to eventually put something down on paper and put it down in the sign. And then I think, it's been a couple months, so I think I sent pictures. Did I send?
I don't recall.
I may not have.
I don't even recall the narrative at this point.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I remember, the narrative was there, and I don't
You don't remember the picture? Okay. If that, it may have been they were too big to send the email because we weren't meeting. There's about 25 photographs that I found, that I know of, that are of the beach, all right? There may be others out there. We might want to solicit more now that we know we have something, a project that we can go for, but there was about 25 or more photographs. So at some point, we have to pick which photographs we want to use so we can send them over to the what is it? The people that fix the pictures up. I can't think. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it right this second. Because that, and it doesn't seem like their timeline's that long. They don't seem to take that long to touch up or whatever you call the photographs. And some are in better shape than others, but I'm not sure that matters. I think, again, we have to have a balance, of the different photos and the time periods of the photos and all that good stuff. But what I'll do is, I have that on a piece of paper. I'll somehow get that to you guys, whether
I might have it, but,
yeah,
so it's been a minute.
I may create a PDF or something for it.
Maybe, would it be great to do the narrative and the pictures as you send this out so that we can...
Yeah, I can resend
get
the
this-
narrative if people
get
want
this
to see
done.
it.
It
Yeah.
would be great.
So
I think.
is there a problem with having a couple people get together as a work group to, as long as we don't have a quorum, in order to flesh that out?
Flush out some of the photographs, you mean? Or the narrative?
Both.
Or both? Yeah, I think that
That'd be
makes
great.
perfect sense.
So it would be 2 or less, right? Isn't that what it is?
We
I
got one,
think it
two,
was
three,
2 or
four.
less. One time it was 3 or less.
It was 2.
Yeah, it was 2, right? So I have a Zoom. You and I could probably
Okay.
just get on the Zoom to kind of flush it out, because what I like to do...
Unless someone else wanted to get involved,
Well, we
I don't
can,
want-
if you don't mind, you and I could start and
Start
flush
it.
it out, and then you and I, and then, so that we'll stay under,
Okay.
in compliance with the meeting. But we could do that way, because time and trying to get everybody together could be
Yep.
challenging. So just to kind of give a first pass.
Perfect.
And then I like to make sure that we have a timeline, so that if you already know, like, when we submit it, about how long we get it back, just so that we are staying within this 12-month period of time and
Yeah,
get a report done.
I think the 12 months is doable. I mean, didn't see, we already know what type of sign we want. We
Sure.
put that in the proposal, the grant proposal, but we don't have what it'll look like.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know that. Now, also, part of the grant was that the sign company would actually do some graphics for us. So so the thought is we give them pictures, we give them a narrative, and they'll come back with maybe how that might look, or other people have done it to make it look nice. And I've seen some of them online, some of them look very nice, so I know the graphics was part of that package, so. Because I know I can't do graphics very well, so.
What?
Yeah, I know, it's shocking, right?
I do know that also, we know that we can't get, of course, everything we would love to put in, but one of the suggestions was also to create a QR code so that would bring people
Bring
back
other
to
pictures and
the
stuff.
city website, and that can continually be updated and.
Yep. I mean, that's still what you said, yeah, absolutely, because not only that, yeah, you can put more pictures
Yeah.
behind the scene.
Right, yeah.
You can do all sorts of stuff that you want to do there. So
Okay.
you can direct them, not only from there, you can direct them to other, sites that might be of interest around Lewis's history, so.
And one other question, and that was, so after we have come up with the preliminary scope for what it's going to look like and the pictures and the narrative, what's the other additional approvals that we have to go through? Where does that have to go back to the historical?
I think the only other thing it might have to, besides DNREC and
DNREC.
Parks and Recs, and then it goes to City Council.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what okay, thank you.
But I mean, they kind of approved it originally. I guess they
Sure.
just want to see what
Sure, they
the
wanna-
actual final product looks like, so.
Okay, that's.
So
what
I wouldn't
understand.
think that'd be a
Okay.
heavy lift, but you tell me.
Okay.
I heard those council people can be tough, so,
Nope.
okay.
We're not H Park.
No,
Okay,
so that's it. I just want to kind of give us, I think the DNREC thing is the big missing piece to me, because I have no idea.
And
who's
Julia
on
mentioned
DNREC.
that she doesn't feel that that's a big issue, so.
No, I wouldn't think
We'll have to
so.
guide to deal with her with that, especially since there's already other signage on the beach.
So
and,
I'll reach out to her and
just
see
placement, I
who we have
assume.
to run it by and get the options for you, ultimately place it. But I think that, again, we didn't view it as a big, heavy lift on that side of the fence, so. And that's all I have for now.
Anybody else have? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. When we met DNREC regarding the Johnnie Walker Pavilion, and there were certain criteria, I guess I should ask you, criteria regarding the placement of the pavilion. I don't know if dimensions of the sign have anything to do with whether it could be placed seaward or not.
Yeah.
The size and the dimensions.
So they do have specifications of permanent structures seaward of the building line, and that was the issue with the pavilion. I'm not sure what their restrictions are on signs such as this, the informational signs. I know that they have put some. Actually, it's not there anymore because it just got so worn, but it was along the beach access at Roosevelt Inlet, and it was, I think that one talked about shipwrecks. So there's
And how
somewhat
long
of a
ago was
precedent.
it?
Pardon?
How long ago was that one?
Oh, before my time,
Yeah, so.
yeah. So, I mean, there
I
is
think that they
precedent.
changed their regulation regarding what was already there.
Well, I think that the committee makes a very good point about at least engaging DNREC
Yeah.
and just asking
That's
the
why I'm
question.
bringing it up.
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have a big footprint either. If you look at the sign, it's basically, at least from my visual recall, it's 2 posts. And so it shouldn't be, but again, we'll find out, because I just have never engaged DNREC before, so.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you.
Else concerning that we need to discuss?
I just want to thank Darrell. When you look at certainly pictures and just the history of this, and I certainly would be in trouble without him, because he has so much of it, and I guess your aunt Elsie, and, I mean, just things that you have. And so I just want to thank you, because we would be, we really.
Absolutely. The other thing about Delaware 250, I'll talk more about this under the commission, but we are celebrating in 2026 the 250th anniversary of the United States.
United States.
United
yeah.
States, but Lewes is also participating, and many towns around are also participating in that as well. So there's opportunity to be able to talk about African American history and our participation in various areas, not just slaves, but as free men, as patriots who fought in the Civil War and whatnot. So, and a whole lot of other things that the city is promoting and encouraging the African American Heritage Commission to participate as well. Do you have anything about that?
I think the focus should typically be on Lewes, but it doesn't mean that certain times, that can be expanded a little bit regionally and such, but we are the Lewes African American Heritage Commission.
Right.
But again, some things don't have boundaries either, so I understand that as well.
So, and also, the focus is to make it a diverse and inclusive celebration. So we have an opportunity to participate in those areas.
Sorry. I at least want to let the commission know, if you don't already know, and I would say Trina's urging, but basically she told me to do it. I did submit some photographs to the Delaware 250. They actually, they have a Facebook page too, and they like stories behind the photographs is what I found. So I've submitted a few photos now with stories. They posted a few of those on their Facebook page. So they have some of those on the record. They are Lewes-based stories, so I'm trying to get representation. So they kind of want pictures and stories. And
Absolutely.
I actually worked with the Rehoboth Beach Historical Society because there was a picture of a taxi between Rehoboth and Lewes that we needed information on, and I found out some information that was kind of cool, and they published that too. So, but if anyone has those things, they seem very receptive to that. If you've got those photos, especially with some stories behind the pictures, they seem to really gravitate to those. So, and hopefully, whenever they do whatever they do, all that'll be included, and Lewes will be represented well. Right?
Thank you. All right. We are at the item G, letter G, other and public comments, questions, anything? Anybody online? I can't tell. My glasses are not, my eyesight is not that good at distance. All right, so our next meeting date will be June, what's the third Thursday in June? I think it's like is that the 18th?
Yes, it's the 18th. Third Wednesday?
Third Thursday.
Thursday's the
That's
19th.
19th, yeah.
Oh.
We're closed.
That's a city holiday, correct, Janet?
Yes.
Yes.
So that may create some,
Let me-
support staff issues.
Well,
Right.
not only
We won't
that,
be
we
meeting that day.
probably won't be meeting.
No,
Yeah,
it's-
okay.
The city hall is closed.
Yeah.
Right,
so
that's right,
we
that's
wouldn't be
actually-
holding any meetings that day.
Okay.
Let me just,
Yep, federal holiday.
so.
Is there, what's the 17th?
You could do,
What
That is a Tuesday.
Tuesday?
or
what do
you
you
could,
have on?
or you could bump back to the 26th. of
I would
June.
love to get it in before the 28th, a little bit of time because of our Juneteenth.
Okay.
How about the 18th, the
That's
Wednesday?
what I'm thinking. Well, or not,
Um,
or the 17th, I'd rather.
I think the 18th LPC, right?
You're asking
Right.
for
I'm
this
asking
commission or
for,
Heritage Commission.
Both.
is the 3rd.
And we may not have to meet for Johnnie Walker
Yeah,
Beach,
that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
so,
Yeah.
we may not have to meet for Johnnie Walker Beach, so
So-
Reverend is right.
The Lewes Planning Commission meets on the 18th in, do they meet in here?
No, they meet
They meet at the Rollins? 30. So we could do the 18th and just set it up on a different Zoom.
Well, I
account,
wanted to
right?
go to that, the 18th Juneteenth celebration.
Oh, okay.
But it's, look, I'm only one person. I would rather, is there something on the 17th?
What?
It's just a concert series.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Oh, in the evening?
Yeah.
Janet, is there anything, I don't have anything citywide for the 16th, a Monday.
That is the, hold on, I gotta
Is
get back.
that Parks and Rec?
Just a minute, I have to get back to, yes.
Oh,
Parks and Rec meets on the 16th, so that would take Kay and Julia out.
And me.
And you,
Yeah.
yes.
so that doesn't work.
Yep, that's not gonna work. I don't think
Reverend,
that
what you
there's.
thinking? I see you thinking.
25th?
I was
Wednesday,
gonna
the
say
25th?
23rd, if you want it.
Oh, 23rd, yeah.
Monday, the 23rd?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's say that Johnnie Walker Beach does not have to meet that
In June.
in June.
Okay.
And we will talk about that for the commission meeting.
Okay.
Okay. So
We can
will-
work behind the scenes for other stuff.
So what the city does when meetings are rescheduled or canceled, we do post the agenda and just write canceled on it. So we'll take care of that for Johnnie Walker Beach, and we'll get that posted.
Okay. Perfect. So if there's nothing else, we can call this meeting.
Yeah. I did want to
Okay.
mention for Johnnie Walker Beach Day, I'm submitting the form request today, this week, and it will be September 20th. That's the third Saturday in September, if it's available. If it's not, we'll have to change it, but that's the request.
Is there any issue having more than one thing on the beach? I'm just
No.
asking.
No, but that's up to.
And
you
I'm
know,
asking the city, because we never
yeah,
have a
time.
bond, we don't never have a bonfire.
No, but for, capacity. So I know that's. the-
I think that, the city does look at requests in all of the parks, and it includes events and weddings. We don't want to schedule an event if there's already a wedding scheduled at that
Absolutely.
time, and respect to, So we do monitor it. It also depends on number of people, so we do look at that.
I'm thinking, and weddings very well and things of that nature can happen in September, but usually we have pretty good days
Yes.
in the September that we.
I have a wedding.
Yeah, I had a question.
I have a wedding on the 20th.
You're getting married again?
Yeah, I'm my third wife. You didn't know I'm from Utah?
If I can ask, what are our thoughts of that is it that we're finding this better people to bring their own food? Is a food truck a viable thing that could happen? I'm just wondering what our thoughts are with that.
Well, I do know that in the past, we've not been
think-
able to have food
I
trucks.
think we need to be careful because the Johnnie Walker Beach Day is not on the agenda. So
Oh, okay.
I don't,
Oh, okay.
I mean,
All
you
right.
can have an
Okay.
offline discussion
All right. We'll
on
have
that,
an offline.
or,
We'll put it on
Put
the
it-
we'll put it on for the next meet, for the
Okay,
next
let's do
meeting
that.
that we have, just to
Thank
make
you.
sure.
Thank you.
But we, yeah,
We'll do it.
We'll talk about that. Okay.
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 Okay, so can we get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All in favor?
I second
Second,
that.
sorry, I keep
I
forgetting
second.
that second part.
I gotta write a little note.
It's been so moved and second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Ayes have it.
Thank you.